All right, world literature. People, we've reached the end last week. I'm really proud of you guys for how you've stuck with it. I'm sure it's been hard. I probably can't imagine what it's like to just have work pile up and to try to, yeah, like come up with ways to be disciplined at home. But yeah, I'm proud of you for sticking with it. Yeah, I hope it's been a meaningful time in a different way, and I hope that you found world literature to still be meaningful on some level despite all these challenges. So, just really quick, I want to explain how I'm going to end things in world literature. Basically, the last week I'm going to sort of simulate what the normal last 2 weeks are like. So normally the last 2 weeks of senior year are the AP exams, so they're always kind of hard to predict when people are going to be in class. So the big thing that we do most days that we met for class in the past is watch the TED Talk videos and yeah, just enjoy those and drink some tea and see yeah the fruit of your labor. So that's a big part of what I'm going to ask you to do this week is watch some TED Talk videos. Again, these are meant to be speeches made to the audience of your classmates. So I'm going to ask you to watch a number of those and comment on those. But also, I have a couple more kind of traditions that I do. I think a big part of the loss of coronavirus and quarantine for you guys is just all these things that you could call like rituals, maybe even like rituals of initiation. These traditions that signal kind of the ending of an era, that signal the kind of like the high school part of yourself dying. I don't know. I even think of that like hero's journey, right? Like you were dying and like being reborn. And so, in every culture we have these traditions, we have these rituals for signaling that kind of thing. And, for you guys, I think of course, graduation, which hopefully you will still get eventually. But also just kind of like the last day of school where you go around and meet with the different teachers. Like that's always super meaningful. Signing yearbooks, all these things that they aren't, I think, trivial. I think they're important and they're meaningful. But because I teach seniors, because I want World Lit to be meaningful and personal as well, one of these traditions that I have that I've done in my classes the last few years is I have my students write kind of like a final blog. If you remember at the beginning of the year, you wrote a blog like kind of like on your senior year, talking about goals, talking about um, plans, hopes, dreams, and so in your blog you can read it in the prompt. Like I invite you to read that first blog again, and then just to do kind of a final reflection on the year. Some final thoughts. Sometimes I call it like a mini like graduation style writing and speech. And yeah, and also what I do is in all my classes, we kind of figure out a day where everybody is going to be in class for us to gather and to share. Like I call them like speeches, but really it's just kind of like sharing what the students wrote for their final blog, and it doesn't have to be all of it. It could just be like a part of it. It could just be like a final word. But yeah, it's always like this really powerful time of just like reflection, but both for yourself and writing it and giving the speech, but also just like hearing your classmates do it. It's become, I've found, another one of these really powerful like rituals of signaling kind of like the end of something, and then you're moving on to something else. So I'm going to attempt to also kind of do something like it. I thought that it was too important not to try to like salvage something. So as you can see in the note this week, we're gonna do sort of like an attempt to do like a live Google Meet that I'm gonna call like mandatory. And if you don't come, I do want you to record some sort of video with like some farewell words. But yeah, I hope that you'll make it. I hope that you'll take it seriously. And yeah, there's a lot of you that I haven't seen at all live, and I hope to see all of you at your classes kind of meeting time. Yeah, so again, that's a big important thing that I do at the end of senior year, most years, or every year in past years. One last thing, kind of like the last thing I'll end you with, and maybe you could say this is another kind of sentimental, like sentimental kind of ritual. But if you remember the first day of class, at the end of class, I shared with you my tradition of listening to a song from my favorite band that talks about not wasting their audience's time with music that they don't need. And I told you that I love not only speaking about like art and music in that way as a necessity, but also kind of like the promise, right? And on that first day of class, I made a similar promise that I hope that I don't waste your time with books, conversations, content in class that's not meaningful, that won't make a meaningful impact on your life. So I hope that I've made that promise, and to kind of point back to that moment in class, but also to give you guys a chance just for this class to think about where we've been. I think taking like a second to do some really intentional remembering is important. Another tradition that I do is I play the song again towards the very end of the year, and then I kind of cycle through some PowerPoint slides, reminiscing about like all of our past units, and hopefully as you would see and be reminded of what we've read and the units, hopefully you are reminded about the deep questions, the stories that we've gotten to engage in this year, which I hope have been meaningful. I've certainly tried to make them meaningful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play that song at the end of this video, and kind of show you these slides that I normally would have shown you had you been in class. So yeah, this is it for me. Hope to see you on our live session. And yeah, as I said on that first day of class, I hope that I haven't wasted your time your last year of high school.
Don't need. Why should I autograph the book that you won't even read? I got a different scar for every song, and blood left still to bleed. But I don't wanna waste your time with music you don't need. I don't wanna waste good wine if you won't stick around. I love to laugh, but I'm more than just your alcoholic clown. And I won't pray this prayer with you unless we both kneel down. 'Cause I don't imagine a situation where we might have a real conversation. But I don't want to waste the words that you don't seem to need. When it comes to understanding what's real, there's no such thing as greed. I hope this night puts down deep roots. I hope we plant a seed. 'Cause I don't want to waste your time with music you don't need.